And I would like to bring up our great presenters today, a gentleman that I love his last name. I said that last year. I don't know if he remembers that, but he is in charge of running this county on a day-to-day basis and doing a wonderful job. And then we will hear from our chairman of our commission. Anybody needs anything, we have all the commissioners here today. Let me know. But at this time, I'd like you to put your hands together. I'd like to bring up our county manager, Mr. Kevin Grace.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. Although next year I think I want someone else to introduce me because it's always too hard to follow you. Thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today. Seems like we just did this a few months ago. It's hard to believe that it's already been almost a year since the last State of the County. But last year I spent a lot of time talking to you about the business of government in Seminole County. I told you about the rising tax base, the long-term reduction of tax rates, about how we have one of the lowest ratios of employees per capita in the state. Told you about how we have one of the lowest per capita debt levels in the state and one of the highest credit ratings in the state. But I'm not going to talk about these type of things today, even though they're still good indicators of how well your county government's been managed over the years. What I want to talk to you about today is the role that county government plays in making our community what it is today. I'd like for each of you to take a few seconds and consider what county government means to you, how it affects your life. Some of you who may have had a bad experience recently, I still want you to ask yourself the question, just don't answer out loud if you don't mind. But however you answer, I would suggest that it ultimately boils down to service in some fashion. Many of you are in the service business. Many of you are also fortunate to be able to focus on a few types of businesses and services and product lines. In our business, we literally have hundreds of distinct services and products that we deliver to our customers every day. These services are incredibly diverse, ranging from roads and drainage and water and sewer service to solid waste, recreation programming, libraries, affordable housing, on and on. And individually, each of these services are important in their own right to a specific customer base or constituency. But collectively, they add up to something a lot more than that. Collectively, they add up to something that is a key reason why each of us have chosen to live in this community, and that something is quality of life. The preservation and enhancement of quality of life is, in fact, a primary responsibility of the county. We want the county to be a great place to work, a great place to live, and a great place to play. And it's through our vision and our commitment of resources that we fulfill our responsibility to the community in this way. Seminole County is indeed a great place to work today, as you all know. Over the past decade, we've emerged as an important employment center in Central Florida, and there are currently over 180,000 people employed in jobs in Seminole County. Seminole County's economy continues to boom with the further expansion of the I-4 high-tech corridor. Over the past year, the county's job growth incentive program has awarded a total of $377,000 in incentives, which returned $33.5 million in capital investment. The goal of the Job Growth Incentive Program has been to create jobs and leverage resources and to actively recruit technology-oriented companies. In 2000, there were 400 direct new jobs that were created under the program and over 1,000 indirect jobs created. The average wage for these jobs was $35,000, and that compares to the per capita income for the county of $28,000 per year. The county, in partnership with the cities of Sanford, Lake Mary, and Castleberry, has also created the 1792 Redevelopment Agency. to revitalize this important corridor. Efforts are underway to market the area as a relocation site for businesses. Corridor enhancements are focusing on safety and mobility. The year 2001 will see continued installation of mast arm signalization, pedestrian crosswalks, and decorative landscaping along the corridor. We're also very confident that Seminole County will continue to be a great place to work in the future. The county is committed to the growth and expansion of small businesses, including the expansion of the small business incubator facilities as critical support and training grounds. Seminole County boasts 2 nationally recognized small business development centers at the Port of Sanford. The Central Florida Business Incubation Center has 2 mixed-use incubators, and the Seminole Technology Incubation Center is a technology-oriented incubator developed in conjunction with NASA. The county's been very successful with its economic development program. However, in order to remain successful, we have to sharpen the focus of the program. That's why we're initiating an economic development strategic planning process, and we're currently formulating a task force to assist us over the next several months in the creation of an economic development roadmap, if you will, that will guide us in the coming years. Another key aspect of working in Seminole County, again, as you all know, is actually getting to and from work. To improve the commute, the county is overseeing the construction of numerous road projects, and perhaps the most visible road project currently underway is the Greenway Missing Link connecting the Greenway to I-4. And that project's scheduled to open in the year 2003. Seminole County is also a great place to live. County government is continuing to take aggressive actions to assure that we continue to be an attractive, livable community. Even with the county's continued high rate of growth and urbanization, the county offers a broad range of lifestyle choices, including 1 to 5 acre residential communities, suburban residential communities, and multifamily apartment communities. The county's also taken strong actions over the past year to protect residential areas and to maintain rural areas as a viable community choice. With regard to housing, the shift from single-family homes to multifamily projects is continuing. I spoke about that last year. To illustrate that point, in 1993, single-family homes were 90% of all housing starts in the county. This past year, the percentage has dropped to 48% of all housing starts. The county also has a number of programs to provide affordable housing for our low-income and disabled residents. For example, our partnership with the Chamber has provided over 800 residents with down payment assistance since 1993. Also, over 160 housing units have been made available to low-income renter households, including disabled households. In order for the county to continue as an attractive community in the future, key components need to be in place. One of these key components is the Seminole County Comprehensive Plan. The Comprehensive Plan is the blueprint for managing the future growth and development in the county. A major update to this comprehensive plan is underway. The first 8 elements of the plan have been approved by the Board of County Commissioners tentatively and forwarded to the Department of Community Affairs for review. The remaining 8 elements are being updated now and will be a primary focus of our attention over the next year. An important aspect of living in Seminole County is keeping in touch with the issues that affect the community, as well as accessing the services that the county provides. To keep residents informed, several new developments have taken place on the county's website. New features include online job applications, video streaming of the Board of County Commissioners meetings, permitting information, the update to the comprehensive plan, and much more. I urge you to check it out if you haven't already. As our population has increased, a larger county courthouse with technological advancements and enhanced safety provisions has become a priority. The design and permitting phase for this project has begun. The construction phase of the project is targeted to begin the first quarter of 2002. The projected cost of the new facility and the renovation efforts is approximately $40 million. Seminole County is also a great place to play with its natural environmental features and recreational opportunities. One of the most popular programs, which we've initiated in recent years, has been the county's Trails program. There has been significant planning and construction activity regarding trails in the past year. These have included the openings of the Crossings Trail in Lake Mary and Phase 1 of the Seminole-Wekiva Trail in Altamont Springs. Another key component in enhancing the quality of life for all the county residents has been our efforts to preserve natural resources for future generations. Under the Natural Lands Program, we have purchased approximately 5,500 acres of environmentally sensitive land. Recent purchases have included the Black Hammock Wilderness Area, which will preserve over 800 acres on the southeast shore of Lake Jessup. The county is also actively pursuing the purchase of the old Wekiva Marina in southwest Seminole County to provide picnic and canoe launching facilities for the public. The county's also been active in enhancing our parks facilities. This includes the development of 2 community development block grant funded neighborhood parks in the Jamestown and Roseland Park communities. We're also partnering with the school board on joint development of neighborhood parks. The county was active in supporting several restoration and enhancement projects this past year. Over $600,000 was provided to the Helen Stairs Theater in downtown Sanford, $100,000 to the Little Red Schoolhouse for use by Tajiri Arts Group, and we're providing $1.5 million to assist the zoo in its expansion efforts. The Commission also committed $400,000 to restore and expand the county's historic museum. We fully expect Seminole County to continue to be the natural choice well into the future. The popularity of the Trails program prompted the County Commission to place a referendum on the ballot this past November to allow for $25 million in bonds to fund trail development and additional purchase of natural lands. This referendum was approved by the citizens, and $20 million from this bond issue will be designated for trail development. The remaining $5 million will go to the acquisition of sensitive natural lands. The county's park and open space master plan also identified the need for more large community-style parks and more intergovernmental coordination. A good example of our commitment in this area is a recent partnership with the City of Oviedo on the acquisition of the Winter Miles facility. This will provide a 65-acre community park. This new park will be open to all county residents and will include a variety of active recreation opportunities. There will also be more public access to our natural lands. Situated on the Wekiva River, the Hutchinson property will provide Seminole County residents with access to this beautiful river. The recently approved master plan provides for a scenic overlook to the Wekiva, restoration of natural habitat, and a stop-off point for canoeists to picnic. The opening of this property is planned for the year 2002. Located on the south shore of Lake Jessup, the former Hiley's Fish Camp will provide Seminole County residents with more recreational opportunities. The master plan for this site provides for a passive neighborhood park with a fishing pier and an overlook to Lake Jessup. The opening of this property is planned for spring of 2002. So with that brief snapshot, I hope I've conveyed to you my belief that Seminole County remains on the right track. However, just because you're on the right track doesn't mean the train can't run you over. So we'll not be satisfied with our success. We will not be complacent. We will be working very hard to be better next year at what we do than we are at this year. While there will be challenges and obstacles in the coming months, there are also going to be a number of opportunities that we'll need to take advantage of. And to speak to you about some of these upcoming opportunities, it's now my pleasure. I'd like to introduce the Chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, Commissioner Dick Vanderwide.
I tell you what, he gave all the good news, didn't he? I'm going to be anxious to see what's in my slides that he wants me to talk about. But it sounds to me like he's covered everything. I have some county commissioners here sitting right in front of me, and I know they're aware of what we've done, and I'm very proud to be part of what you've mentioned, Kevin. But at this time, I'd like to recognize my fellow county commissioners, they're sitting out here in the audience. I can't hardly see them, of course, with these lights, but I know there's at least 3 of them out there. I don't know if Grant's made it or not, Grant Malloy, but if those commissioners would stand, I'd appreciate it. And if they'd remain standing, they would remain standing. Let me just say this, that I'm very proud to be part of this county commission. These are the commissioners that have been here and have implemented or directed the policy decisions that brought all these good issues that the county manager has brought forth here. And none of them are rookies, and they've done a wonderful job. I do have a question for Commissioner Randy Morse and Darrell McLean. I just heard before I came in here that those two, you know, Randy and Darrell are big economic development people, and I heard just when I came in here that they were working with Frank Shelton to bring Bike Week over to Markham Woods Road. And I want to caution you guys, because, you know, one of the things that we've done collectively is formed a great alliance with Volusia County, and I'm not sure that they're ready to give up Bike Week. And then, of course, when you talk about Carlton Henley, you can't help but notice that we have 2 tables here with Seminole County employees out over here someplace, if I could see them. But I do know there happen to be some vacant chairs there. Well, those are the jobs that Carlton with a sharp pencil cut. So, but gentlemen, if you could sit down, I'd appreciate it. I would also like to have the 2 tables that we have a county staff stand. These are our professional people, from attorneys to engineers and land development people. We decide the policy and they get the job done, and I think they're doing an excellent job, and I think it's obvious on the presentation, it's obvious throughout the county, and I'm just looking at this first slide he gave me, so if you want to turn to the next slide. I don't know how I got the issue of funding, but and not only that, but I've only got 3 slides, so I'm going to have to say a lot within these 3 slides. But let's face it, to maintain the quality that we have in this county and some of the things that we want to continue to do, or some of the new challenges that we have before us, it's going to take, there's some real definite funding issues involved when accomplishing these things. Additional funds are definitely needed for our solve our transportation issues. That's the biggest single issue that we have in Seminole County, is transportation. We've done a wonderful job in Seminole County with the 1-cent sales tax. We sent it to the voters back in '91. They have overwhelmingly voted for it. We had a lot of cooperation with the cities, the county, and we're close to the finishing that first phase of that 1-cent sales tax. We're 82% complete, in fact, with the county projects. That 1-cent sales tax is estimated, because it won't run out until this September, to have brought in $450 million. Now, that particular tax was spent to improve the county road system, some state road systems, with the Florida cooperation with the Florida Department of Transportation. If we want to maintain our position as the leader of solving our transportation issues, there's a few things that are open for us to move forward with. And one of them is the second-generation sales tax and the revenue estimates that go along with it. And you'll know that the timetable to go back to the citizens for approval of another 10 cents on this 1-cent tax is this September. Hopefully this September we will get approval from the citizens to continue the 1-cent sales tax to address those issues that you see up there. The difference between this initiative and the last initiative, we are including the school system in this for 25% of that 1-cent revenue. Now, which is going to generate about $133 million projected for public schools. Where we're at right now, the county commission has had joint work sessions with the school system. One of the best things that came out of the Seminole Vision that we started years ago was we have meetings on a regular basis of the county mayors, the city mayors, and the county manager and the county chairman, and we freely talk about these particular issues. Right now, we're in the process of working with the cities on interlocal agreements relative to what we're going to do with the funding and what roads we're going to expand, and and what the school system is coming up with their list of what they plan on doing with their share. Folks, we're going to have that 1 cent sales tax continuation. It's going to come up in September, and we're going to need your help to make sure that this thing passes. There's just no doubt about it. We're going to be cooperating with everybody involved. It's going to be a plus. I know that Seminole County citizens have always responded in the past to initiatives on the ballot that make sense, where they know what they're going to get, and we follow through with it. I think we've got the credibility, and I feel very confident that they're going to be with us. Which brings me to the next slide. And basically what it doesn't say up there, we've got some real regional transportation issues. Well, one thing that's been lacking on regional transportation, Darrell McLean and myself are a member of the Metro Plan, which is the agency that's responsible for determining the work project, the scope of work for the regional transportation issues. You've probably been reading a lot about us in the newspaper over the last 2 years, and some of the fights they had over light rail and that type of thing. Well, I just want to tell you, we've got enough studies there that next week we could pull a study off the shelf and start tomorrow if we had the funds. And this is where the problem is. One of the things that the MPO, which I'm a member and Darrell's a member, and this involves Orange County, Osceola County, and Seminole County, that's our region, our MPO, is we are trying to, in our legislative initiative, we're trying to readdress a $2 surcharge on rental cars that's already on the books. Problem is the money goes to the state and they redistribute it. Well, folks, we're not getting our fair share. We're the biggest rental car market in Florida by far, and of course with the Sanford Airport and what's taking place out there in that rental car market, we need to get our fair share. Right now it all goes to the state, and there's don't seem to be any accountability. There's no tracking of how much money goes in. So we're going to pursue this in our lobbying effort with the legislator to hopefully get more of our share back to this region. Now that's going to be a real fight because nobody wants to give up any money, especially the people that may be benefiting from this that don't have any rental car business. The other issue here is one I'd like to see, the one we're pushing very hard for. The county commission has agreed, and we have sent letter to homeowner association to support this issue I'm going to be talking about. I'd like to think that anybody here that belongs to a group or an organization that sees the need for this, that they would send a letter to the county in support of this initiative, because quite frankly, if you read the paper, we've got to have sponsors in the legislature to do these things, and we're having a little difficulty getting people willing to, even our local legislatures, to fund this bill that we need. This bill basically is going to would give us a new local option surcharge at $2 per day on rental cars. This would generate $40 to $60 million a year. With $40 to $60 million a year to use on a regional basis, funneled through the Metro Plan, it would be a major breakthrough for one thing, because it would be the first regional funding we've ever had, the first regional cooperation we've had to send money to the regional MPO so that they could match funds with state money, leverage it in a lot of different ways. And it's very, very important. Everybody will always like to say, hey guys, let the local government help. Let's do something. You guys do something. We can't do it all for you. The state's not going to be able to do it all for you. The federal government's not going to be able to do it all for you. Here's an issue, if we can get that, we're not even asking them to give the tax. We're not asking them to raise fees. There's a mindset up there that they don't want to raise any taxes and they don't want to raise any fees. What we're asking them, folks, is to give local government the option to raise these surcharge and these taxes or these fees, and we will direct it to the MPO to be used at the regional level, which could include Lynx buses, could include light rail, commuter rail, expansion of roads or new roads. And quite frankly, if they give us that, they can put the stipulation that we have to go to the voters with it. I think the voters are smart enough to realize that the tourists, quite frankly, are having a tremendous impact on our roads, and we could use their help to improve the situation. In fact, if we don't get their help to improve this situation, frankly, I'm not sure the tourists are going to be able to get to their hotels or their destinations or their amusement parks. So I look at this as we're going to help them. We're going to help them make sure that they can continue and have the attendance and the representative of the tourists that they want. But I can't overemphasize that we're going to need your help. You know a legislator, call them. Tell them, hey, what about that idea in the $2 surcharge? I understand that's a major legislative effort of Seminole County and the other counties in regional transportation, and why can't we get with us and do it? We've been told more than once that maybe the timing isn't right. Well, with the leadership that we've got in Central Florida, in their legislative delegation, I don't think there's any place in the state of Florida that's got a better qualified group of leaders than we do. And they are in the catbird seat in a lot of positions, and folks, now's the time to do it. So let me just say this. Seminole County is a great place to live. Quite frankly, I think you've got great leadership in the public and private sector. I think we see it here. I think we got a very good chamber, but it's also our responsibility to determine how much better we want it to become. And that's going to depend on us and our willingness to get involved and push for what we think right, not always going to be popular. Thank you very much.